Gruden. In the last few minutes, quarterback Derek Carr had this to say.
The hard thing for me to understand is we say, we're all about people, but sometimes we don't get to know people, right? I think he's one of the most misunderstood people in the NFL. He quickly turned into one of my favorite teammates I've ever had. He's one of the most genuine, awesome people I've ever been around. He's a great teammate. He works his tail off, and he's a great guy, to be honest with you. I know that he's had history in other places, but I think people change. I don't think he was trying to hurt that man. We see other people choking people out, and they're going to play this Sunday. We see other people hitting people in the helmets, and they're going to play this Sunday. And Burfict won't play the rest of the year. I think that's a little excessive, if you ask me.
It's pretty interesting. Let's do On the Clock today, and let's start with that one here. Give me 60 seconds on the clock. Dominique, I'm going to give you the floor. What is your reaction to what you just heard Derek Carr say?
I think everything that Derek Carr said was accurate, but it does not account for the fact that he does have this history. And he said that he's a nice guy. It's probably true. He's one of his favorite teammates. He works really hard. All that's true. But he also put his head down, lifted his forearm, and launched himself like a missile at Jack Doyle's head. While Jack Doyle said it wasn't a big deal, it just felt like he was trying to tackle me, this is something that they want out of the league. I'm fine with them trying to protect the players, but I hope this protection extends to defensive players also. We talked about how Marcus Peters got, frankly, annihilated at the goal line in that game.
No question that is relevant, but let's stay on this one here. What do you make of this?
Nobody cares about what Derek Carr is talking about. Derek Carr is not talking about a player that has changed. He said people can change. We're not suspending Vontaze Burfict, the person. They want to suspend Vontaze Burfict, the football player who will not change the way he approaches tackling and playing this game to protect himself and also protect his peers. And so, yes, Derek Carr, you did the right thing by standing by your teammate, but nobody cares if he's a good friend. They want to know that he's a football player that cares about player safety.
That's exactly right. These are rules, and he is blatantly violating them and then running off the field blowing kisses. I'm not so sure what part of this is so complicated. All right, next, let's talk about Dak Prescott, your favorite person in the world sometimes, I think. Put 60 seconds on the clock. Are you at all concerned about Dak after the New Orleans game?
I am not at all concerned about Dak Prescott. Sometimes I feel like a broken record because I have to roll out all his accolades every time all the haters come out and come for him. But this man has been clutch in big situations in the playoffs, leading game-winning drives multiple times. And I think he is very good. The problem that I see with the analysis of Dak Prescott is a lot of us have confirmation bias. And maybe I'm part of the problem. Maybe I have confirmation bias also. But people were waiting this season. He had 3 spectacular games, and we all, or not all of us, many of us said, wow, Kellen Moore sure is amazing. Then as soon as he has one game, you've been waiting all year from that one game that's not perfect, and you're like, see, that's why you don't want to give him that much money. This dude is a top-level quarterback. That's what I was talking to directly. I wanted him to make sure you clip this and send it right to him, because he couldn't wait to take Dak Prescott's money, right? Dak Prescott been balling for the whole season. He has one game that's not perfect, and I can point out specific coaching errors that were made in that game. Not that Dak's perfect. He missed some passes. Some receivers dropped some balls. Other receivers couldn't get open.
That's real.
It's not all on Dak. Dak comes through time and time since he stepped in for Tony Romo.
Tell him again.
And they went 13-3.
I feel like I need to defend Swagoo. He didn't say that.
He can defend himself. He's a big man.
He said this is why the Cowboys don't want to give him the money, because they think that. He himself wasn't saying that.
He didn't say that. He talked to people at the Cowboys. This is what you do when you have a feeling, right? When you have a feeling like, I wouldn't give him no money because of this, and then you can say, well, it's not my money, so I'm going to say this is why the Cowboys won't give him no money. But it's really your thought.
That's it, because I heard the question. I think it was Dan who said, would you pay him? He said, I don't know, maybe I give him 30.
You know what it is?
Get that man all this money.
You know what it is? This is what it is. Swagoo went to work out with Greeny, and so he different than us. Their friendship on a different level than our friendship is. And we call him Greeny, he gets to call him G. So it's different levels to this friend thing on this.
We did work out together, and if there were video of that, it would be the most amusing thing we've ever done in the history of the show. In the meantime, I have one more 60 seconds on the clock, because I have a vested interest in this one, and I'm starting with you on this one, RC. What can Dwayne Haskins do to keep from having his growth stunted and potentially ruined by the mess swirling around him in Washington?
Absolutely nothing. And we've seen so many different quarterbacks go into situations that aren't good for them and environments that aren't made or aren't put together to help them grow, and they do not grow. Dwayne Haskins can't go out and get a separate quarterback coach. He can't go out and get a different head coach. He has to work with the people that are in that building. And if Jay Gruden does not believe in him, if Jay Gruden can't put things into place for him to succeed, it is going to be hard for him to change that circumstance.
You mentioned that he can't get a new quarterback quarterback coach. He can't get a new head coach. The problem there is at the top. It's the guy who owns the franchise. Everyone says that. All the way down from the employees who decided that they would rather quit than continue to work there. All the way down to the logo on the side of the helmet. There's lots of problems with that organization. Dwayne Haskins can't fix any of them. It's unfortunate, sad for him that he's stuck there. I know it's his hometown. He wants to be there, but it's not a great situation.
It's not.
If he can overcome this reminds me of how we talk about Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis made something special out in Cincinnati out of a team that's not trying to win. If Dwayne Haskins can overcome what's going on there, he's a really